Hi everyone, Caroline from Thought Farmer here. Coming here today to talk to you about our new content review feature that we're introducing to Thought Farmer. And for a bit of background information on why we ventured on building this feature, you might be quite familiar with the challenge of keeping information and content up to date on your intranet. It's usually fine when you first launch, but after some time, keeping your content fresh can become a real challenge, right? Sometimes we have critical information that's buried way deep down in the navigation somewhere. You might have duplicate pages or outdated files that are scattered all over the internet, which becomes an issue. And sometimes it's also really unclear who has ownership of different pages or different sections. And usually when these problems start creeping in, you'll notice it because you'll hear staff complain about how they find it really hard to find certain pages, or they really struggle to find the most up-to-date or the latest version of important information that they need to get their job done. And so we hear you. Like, we struggle with this problem ourselves here at Thought Farmer, right? So we really went out to build this new content review feature to empower you and to empower us to take control of our content and to hopefully eliminate the frustration that comes with outdated information on the internet. The neat thing about this feature as well is that it ensures that everyone knows who is responsible for keeping that content fresh and up to date by allowing you to assign pages or sections to specific people. So let's take a look and see how it works. We will first go into our admin panel and find our content review admin page, which lives here in the content section. When you open that up, you'll see that there is an on and off switch for content reviews. It will be turned on by default. But what you may want to review here is the permissions. There's a few different options here that can help you decide which people in your organization you would like to have the option to set up new content reviews. It goes from very restrictive, where only super administrators can do it, all the way to very open, which is what we've selected here, where everyone who has view and edit permissions on a page will be able to kickstart a review cycle. A few other options here: specific security groups, specific individuals, or a different admin role that you have created that has access to view and edit all the site content. So think about that and make the right selection here. And then the other thing that you can review here is to set the times of notifications that are going to be sent out, right? When a new content review is set up or is started, anybody who's assigned to participate in it will get an in-app and an email confirmation or alert, and you can select the time for that to go out. If you have set a due date on your review, reviewers are also going to get alert as soon as that review becomes overdue. And then the last option here is a weekly summary email. Anybody who has been assigned to review content will get a weekly email that shows them a summary of all of the reviews that they have to take action on or that are overdue. And again, you can select the day of the week and the time for that to go out. So let's hop into our content review dashboard, which you can access from your profile menu. I'll just click on content reviews here. And on this intranet here, we already have a few content reviews in play. By default, it's going to show me all of the reviews that are assigned to me or where I'm a reviewer. You can see that here. But if I wanted to see all of the reviews that are active on this intranet, I can toggle to that view here as well. So it just shows me a few more. All right, other thing that we can see here, some of these are already in play, right? The first 3 reviews here, you can see that I have a big finish review button. There's some progress bar here, whereas the last 3 are actually scheduled. They have a start date that is in the future, so I can't take action on that just quite yet. All right, so I'm going to create a new review here by clicking that big button. Brings out this slide out menu. And in this case, I want to set up a review for my customer success group on this intranet. So I'm going to select that here. And then you'll see here a note that says all subpages under customer success are included in this review, right? So you don't have to set up individual reviews for every single page on the internet. You can do it section by section. Now, it does say all subpages are included. One exception for that is certain content types will not be included in a review cycle. And those are things like news post, calendar events, forum topics, and profile pages, as well as any content that is created underneath a profile page. So usually those types of posts or that type of content is not something that needs to be regularly reviewed, typically fairly ephemeral in nature, or it's really content that is like a place and time that we don't really need to go and update or move. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is select my start date. I want to get started on this right away, so I will select today's date, and I will give people 2 months to work with this. So I'm going to select August 19th as sort of the due date for this review. You can see here that there is an option to make a review recurring, which is something that we always like to encourage. It's to keep your content fresh, doing it from time to time and making sure that it becomes an ongoing practice is really advised, so that you don't just solve the problem once, but you prevent really stale and outdated content in the future. So I can say, you know what, I want to have this review done every year. And that way it will automatically create, once this review is finished, it'll automatically create one for 12 months in the future. Now I can select my reviewers. You will notice that the person who is the owner of the page that I am setting up for review, so the customer success page, the owner of that page or section will automatically be listed here as a reviewer. But then I can add any other individuals that I would like me to help with that. So I'll add Ben and Abigail, and I can even include different people or entire groups of people that live on the internet. I can also add a note. So what that will do is when this review goes out and all of my reviewers get a notification, they're also going to see my quick note that indicates to them why I'm setting up this review and what I'm hoping that they can help with. So I'll just click on save. And now we can see that there is a new review in my list here at the very bottom that I just created. As you can see, customer success here, it indicates with this little ticker that there is content underneath, right? So if I click on customer success, I'm now going to see all of the pages underneath here that are included in that review. Meeting notes, and I can go all the way back to the very lowest pages in that review cycle. All right, so that's how you set up a review through the dashboard. I also wanted to show you how you can set up a review from a page. So for that, I'll go to my home page again, and I'll go and find my customer success group. And maybe there's a very specific area of my team that I know has to be reviewed by someone specific. So let's say it is the CS KPIs page. I can come in here and I can click on these 3 dots here to create a new review as well. So I'm going to click on that from here. It'll give me the same slide out menu. And now I can, for this specific area, set up my own date range. So if I want that to start, or that review to have a sooner due date, I can select the same start date, but I can say, you know what, we really need this reviewed by the end of June. And for this one, I can say, you know what, it doesn't need to be repeated. This is just a very, point in time type of review that I need here. For this one, I know perhaps that I have one person that I really would like to review this CS KPI page. I'm going to select his name here. Again, I can add a note if I want to, and I'll click on save. And now this review is active, right? You can see here that there is a banner now at the top of the page that says this review is due on June 30th and allows people to come and review that page. I cannot finish the review here because I am not assigned to it. It's Brandon, but when he comes to this page, he will be able to mark this page as reviewed. All right, so what I want to point out now, because this CS KPIs page, the review that I just started here, is of course a page that lives underneath the customer success group, which I just set up a bigger review for. So let's take a look on the dashboard and see what that looks like. So I'll go back here to my, my main folder or my main overview. I'll click on customer success. And what we can see here is that everything is still available here to review, but I can see that the CS KPIs page, which is a subpage of this, so it would be included in my customer success review, it now has a note here to indicate that this is now set up as a separate review, right? So that means I can take action on it here, but if I go back to my dashboard and I'll select all reviews, we're going to see that CS KPIs is now its own separate review, right? So it's just taken out of that main customer success review. Now, from the dashboard, you are able to, as you can see, you can do bulk actions here, right? If I were, and I am actually assigned as a reviewer of the marketing campaign structure, right now, we can see that only 60% of that section has been reviewed. I can click Finish Review here to finish all of the pages that are reviewed here under this area. We typically wouldn't recommend this usually. Like, we'd like to make sure that we take the time to dive into each individual page and make sure that the content there is correct. But you do have that option should it ever be needed. If I click into the review cycle, you can see that from here, I can see which pages have been reviewed. So Caroline actually has reviewed a few pages here already. If there's any that are outstanding, like the goals, targets, and KPIs, I can click the review button here, or I can actually go to this link icon and open the page in another tab to take a look and see what's on that page. Once I'm done and have reviewed the content, made sure it's in the right spot, I can either click Mark as Reviewed from here, or I can mark the page as reviewed by clicking this big check mark icon here. So I'll do that, and right away you can see that this page now is marked as reviewed as well. Now that I have all of my content reviewed here in the marketing team structure review, I can click on Finish Review. It asks you to confirm, and then I can mark that one off. As soon as your review cycle is finished, it will disappear from your dashboard, unless if it is a recurring review, it will start the next iteration of the recurrent review, and you will see that here in your dashboard. Okay, so next up, let's talk about what happens when pages are removed or added to a section that's currently under review, right? What if I have my customer success group review here, and then tomorrow somebody adds a new section underneath that group called important documents? That is thankfully all taken care of. So as soon as something, or a new page or a new folder or a new group is created underneath the section that's under review, that page or that new content is automatically going to be included in my review now. What happens if the reverse happens, right? If I delete a page underneath the section, same thing happens. It will just be removed from the review. Now, previously, we took a look at how you're able to take out specific portions of a section and create a separate review for them, right? If I open my customer success review here, the CS KPIs, as well as this contract renewal process, those are actually managed through their own individual review. So what happens if you delete a review? What if I were to delete the CS KPIs review? You can do that, right? We can go back to the dashboard, go back to all reviews, and we see the CS KPIs section here. Now, if we wanted to just, you know what, we don't really, it doesn't need to be assigned to Jordan. This doesn't actually make any sense. We need to remove it. We can click on these three dots. We will delete the review, right? It asks you to confirm, of course. And then now that review is deleted, but if we open up our customer review cycle again, we'll see that CS KPIs, which is a subpage, is now again included in that main customer success review because it's no longer a separate one. So that kind of like covers all bases. Lastly, what happens when you finish a review, right? We had an example of that there earlier. If you finish a review, two things can happen. If it is one that has been a review that has been set up as recurring, then we will start the new cycle of it. So if I click finish review here on customer success, it will just start the next, it will be removed from here and the next cycle will commence. So if I click finish review here, note here that I also have a few options. It will tell me, you have reviewed a few pages within this section, but there's been 14 that you haven't reviewed individually. So you have an option here to either mark all of those unreviewed items as reviewed and finish your review, or skip all of these unreviewed items and finish the review anyway. The difference is if you mark all of the individual pages as reviewed, you will see a nice review icon on them. So if I click my finish review here, note that customer success review has been removed here and the next one is scheduled. So if we go to our customer success group now, we'll see that there is now this nice verified icon at the very top where you can see, or visitors to this page can see, this page has been reviewed, it's accurate, I can trust what's on this page. If you don't like this icon, it can be turned off. We do have a configuration setting in the admin panel that will allow you to remove this icon from ever appearing on any of the verified pages, but that is up to you. So that's a brief overview of our new content review feature. Do hope you all will enjoy it and start using your content review feature now that you have it on your internet. It will help you prevent your content from becoming stale for new content that you're setting up, or if you're just starting out on your internet. And if you do have stale content today, this is the ultimate tool for you to battle the stale content and put some order and updates in place on your internet. Hope you enjoy. Thanks so much and talk to you later.